Speaking of finding someone's footing, Stephen A. Smith is trying to find his footing back on the Ravens bandwagon. And what I love about Dan Orlovsky is he made sure it didn't come without him being reminded of his comments before.
See, as far as I'm concerned, I have no doubt that Patrick Mahomes can do what he does, but it's the team itself. And that's why I'm not flowing with Kansas City as my choice. I'm going to flow with the Ravens because of Zay Flowers, because of Lamar Jackson, because of that defense. I'm looking at the personnel and the pieces that they have in place. They can run the football. They can pass the football. They can certainly have an electrifying running back at the quarterback position, as far as I'm concerned, who happens to be a damn good quarterback as well. And their defense is rife with a bunch of rough riders. I think when you look at the Baltimore Ravens, they have all the ingredients to say, yo, we're that team to beat. And Patrick Mahomes, again, anybody that's going to throw him into the equation, which I'm sure Dio will, I will remind everybody of this. I have been reminded by you guys that Patrick Mahomes has never played a road game during the playoffs. He'd have to go to Baltimore. And if he has to go to Baltimore, I'd be real interested, not him, because I know what he'll do, but I'll be real interested in seeing what those receivers do in that Baltimore climate. I really would be interested in seeing that.
So you would take Baltimore to go to the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Right now?
Yes.
Even though you say that you don't have a ton of trust in Lamar in the playoffs?
Even though. I said to you in the past.
Yeah,
I said in the past. I said this year.
But he also said he had less trust in the Kansas City receivers than he does Lamar.
Yes.
He even had Shannon come in to help him backpedal there.
He always does, bro. Like I feel like Stephen A. brought Shannon onto the show just to like agree with everything that he was saying. Like at least Max Kellerman and him went together and like they just went at it, right? Like and Ryan talked about this before the show too. Like Shannon Sharpe was way more entertaining in Undisputed.
You never knew what you were going to get with Shannon on Undisputed. That was like the clips that popped out. All the memes are from Shannon on Undisputed with Skip.
My personal favorite's the Mountain Dew one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
And so but we don't see that as much. But to the point of it, and also again, I do like Stephen A. But I love that Dan called him out. So, guys, I'll kind of ask you this then, because this kind of leads into it. The Ravens are 9-3. Mm-hmm. They're at the top. They have the toughest remaining schedule of the teams that are leading their divisions in the AFC. So we're looking at right now the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Jags, and the Dolphins are the four teams right now in the AFC record-wise. Right now, in your mind, and Zach, will start with you, and then Brad, whenever you want to hop in, you let us know. But who is your favorite in the AFC right now?
Who'd you say had the number one seed?
The Baltimore Ravens.
Who has the most wins in the AFC?
Baltimore Ravens.
The Baltimore Ravens.
Who's wearing a Baltimore Ravens shirt?
The Baltimore Ravens. But here's why. I think if you want to talk about who needs to be dethroned, it's obviously going to be Kansas City. Kansas City is going to be the team to beat, not necessarily because of who they are this year, but who they have been. You know that if you want to win in the AFC, you have to go through Patrick Mahomes. So if we're talking about the team to beat in the AFC, I think it has to be the Chiefs. I think just because of who they are with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, even though this is the most beatable Chiefs team, it's still the Chiefs. But if I'm talking who has pound for pound, all 53 men, who is the best team in the AFC and healthiest at this point, you know, when you take into account everything other teams are dealing with the Browns, with the Bengals, the Baltimore Ravens are the best team in the AFC.
Kind of echo some of that sentiment. And obviously, you know, we're Ravens fans, so the bias is probably going to show a little bit. But when you really get down to it, look at it on paper. The Ravens have had the toughest schedule. The three losses that they've had were to Cleveland, Indy, and Pittsburgh, all with winning records. You look at the Jaguars' schedule remaining.
All in the playoffs right now. That's the three wild card teams, by the way.
Correct. So then you look at the other teams that are leading in their divisions, and they have the softest schedules. So it's really hard to kind of say that they're going to be better than Baltimore because of the types of teams that they've played. Right? It's almost as if you're trying to rank college football. You know, you're gonna rank you're gonna rank the teams higher that play the tougher teams and win. And I think that this is the same type of thing when we're looking at the entire season and who the Ravens have gone up against and won against versus the other division leaders in the AFC. So look, the Chiefs are going to be the team to beat, and you never want to underestimate Patrick Mahomes, but they don't have playmakers on that side of the ball, not named Travis Kelce. Pacheco is certainly in there, but at the end of the day, they don't really have those good skill players like they had when Tyreek was there, and Mecole Hardman is now out. So it's going to be really tough, I think, for the Chiefs to go deep into the playoffs. And I am also interested to see what Patrick Mahomes does outside of Arrowhead.
I think right now I would agree with you with, well, both you guys. The Chiefs are the team to beat because they're the defending reigning Super Bowl champions. Until someone knocks them out, they're still the team to beat. And they're in a really good position right now. They're not a team with a losing record. They're not a team that we need to write off by any means. They're right behind the Ravens, kind of trailing them for that best record, that 1 seed in the AFC. But the team that I'm going to throw kind of a curveball, not really. The team right now that I think scares me more than anything in the playoffs, if I'm an AFC team, is the Miami Dolphins. And they're right up there. You're giving me a smirk right now, but they're right up there at 8-3. They have an unbelievable offense, and you need to be able to score points in the playoffs. Defensively, they worry me a little bit, but the Ravens are going to take that top spot defensively, but offensively, you look what they have: Tua, Tyreek, Waddle, the skill players they have, the running backs they have. I think he pronounces his name A-Chan now. Yeah, A-Chan. I think that's how he said he pronounces his name. I've always called him Devon A-Chain.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I got to go delete a few pre-draft videos then.
But I'm not walking back what I'm saying at all, like here. But to me, that's a team to keep an eye out for. As far as complete best team in the AFC right now, it's the Baltimore. It's the 1 seed. It is. Yeah. Offensively, what they're doing, you got to be able to score more points than what they did on Sunday night. And that's on all those guys. Garbage time, Zay Flowers touchdown aside, they scored 13 points. They struggled. And you cannot do that in postseason play if you're going to win a Super Bowl, if you're going to get out of the first round, if you're going to get out of the second round, if you're going to advance to a Super Bowl. So offensively, they have to be better, and we have to see flashes of what they did a few weeks ago when they were at their best. So for me, it is the Ravens, but I'm telling you what, don't count the Dolphins out. Don't write them off. Why though? Why?
How many teams above 500 have they beat in the past 420 days?
I'm just saying, man, when it gets into postseason play,
how many teams below 500 make the postseason?
Well, not only that, but we've always talked about defense.
Who's the team that beat the Ravens last year, comeback fashion, and embarrassed on their home field?
We always talk about defense wins championships. Do we not? Hey, defense wins championships.
Defense travels.
The Dolphins are 20th in points allowed per game, and that's against bad teams. So, look, I understand what you're saying, Rocco, but there is something here with the huge glaring weakness is going to be that the Dolphins in the point. But the asterisk here is that Jalen Ramsey has only been playing with them for the last 3 weeks, I believe.
What did he do this past week? Did he have 2 picks this past game, Brad, or was it 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
He's been an incredible addition to the team since coming back. And if there's a healthy Jalen Ramsey back going into the postseason, I think that they will be dangerous. However, that front seven on the defense is not great. So that's going to be the glaring weakness. We'll see what they do. But yeah, they're definitely a team that shouldn't be overlooked for sure.
Yeah, I'll say this until I'm still going to go with the Chiefs no matter what. And I think the Ravens have the ability to dominate. I think they really felt like, if we're looking at dominating in the NFL this year, besides the San Francisco 49ers, when they've lost some games, but dominating teams, the Ravens are up there. The problem that the Ravens are going to have is, can they get through this gauntlet against the opponents? The only team that has a losing record is the Rams, and they're 5-6. The Chiefs have 1 game left on their schedule. one game that they could lose, in my opinion, and that's against Buffalo. And you don't know. It's flip of a coin. Buffalo could be like they were against Philly, or they could be like they were against the Patriots.
Do they play the Broncos again this year?
The Chiefs? No, it's done. They're done.
Okay.
So the Chiefs have one game where you're going to sit there and go, could they possibly lose? The Ravens, I think they can win every game, but they still got to go to San Francisco, go to Jacksonville, play Pittsburgh at home, play Miami at home. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is that the Chiefs could have another path to being the number 1 overall seed, and playing in Kansas City in the playoffs, as we know, is tough. I think the Ravens can beat anybody in the NFL. I think that they have the formula to beat everyone in the NFL, but you do not want to go through Kansas City yet again. And if the Ravens are going to be the number 1 seed, I think it's fair to say, guys, they're going to earn it, because they're going to have to, they're going to have to kick ass against these squads. In Jacksonville, that no one's talking about, Jacksonville's just sitting there. They're sitting there at 8-3, and they could lose some games, but that game in Jacksonville on December 17th, I think it is, that's going to be a wild one. And especially last year, that Ravens game was nuts. So we'll find out. Should be fun. Ravens, though, things are good. Enjoy the bye. Everyone can kind of relax. Heart rate can go down a little bit. Don't have to stress as much.